Good morning, and welcome to your business in digital. We made it. It is the season finale. Could you imagine that, guys? How's everyone doing this morning?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh, we are here at the season finale of
Mhm.
we have done so many shows this season. So super excited to be here. Today's going to be an awesome show because we have the great Juma Bannister with us. So I'm super excited about that. But guys, all right, let's kick off. Let me go to the intro. And before, I feel like this show is like so Juma influenced. The intro, the music for the intro, he actually created the music for the intro. So like this is like an original piece of content, an original piece of music that we got from him. So all of that stuff is super exciting. So having him here on the show today is like, oh, yeah. I don't even need sound effects. All right, let's jump in. All right. Good morning, and welcome to your business in digital. What is your business in digital? We are the show that we help you translate your business into digital because we understand that it can be daunting, right? There's so many things to consider. If you are a business owner looking to scale your business, how do you do that through digital? If you're a CMO looking to outsource your digital marketing activities to make sure that you're getting and seeing that return on investment, who do you work with to do that? And if you're a CFO who's been signing off on things, not really understanding how digital brings in that ROI, this is the show you want to watch. You want to watch this, your business and digital show, because we really help you get to that place of money in the bank, right? How do you move from your digital marketing activities to seeing that return on investment, that money in the bank, that profit? We want to make sure that you're going way beyond the likes and follows and getting to that place of money in the bank. So always excited to be here. Super excited to be here with my amazing team. What we've done on the show is we've really collected all the stakeholders in a small business. So we have represented here sales and pricing, we have finance, operations, and of course, marketing. So we really give you that, holistic view of what your business should look like and how everyone should be a stakeholder in what you're doing in digital. So good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning?
It is
You know,
Wednesday morning and I am hurting. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. It's
Oh, Michael's in
important that work-life
Michael's in
balance.
CrossFit now. Okay, he took like one CrossFit class yesterday, and he's not
But I feel like
lying.
I'm gonna
He's a
die.
CrossFitter. I'm like, we're all here. The rest of us are always working out. We're always in pain.
I don't like it.
But don't worry, he's the fancy guy. No, we love fancy. Come on.
Oh,
Andrea, Michelle, how you guys doing? How you feeling about the season finale? What is going on?
oh, I'm so excited for it. I feel like, I feel so accomplished. I feel like, we've done so much work and I feel like I'm graduating. It's graduation season. I don't know. Should I go to prom like what you guys do or something? I don't know, but I really feel, I really feel like it's an accomplishment. I feel really proud of what we've done, and I'm so excited to share our final show with Juma.
Yeah, 100%. Michelle, how you feeling this morning?
I'm on a struggle bus today. I don't know what is going on for our season finale. I'm like, normally it's waking up well before the alarm. I'm having problems, getting myself together. My glasses are fogging up. Like, what is it about this last day that I'm having big issues on this? I'm having separation anxiety on with y'all. So
All
I'm
right.
not used to this, but I'm
Well,
so happy to have Juma here. It's
yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. So, I want to give you all
mhm,
a round of applause.
mhm.
Okay. Because you know what? I could not be with a better team. I mean, the content that you guys pulled together this season has been ridiculous. Going over the recap last week was just really awesome just to see the work. As Andrea said, there was a lot of work that went into this. And I think, I'm like, I couldn't do this with anybody else. So thank you so much for taking this journey of let's do a show. We're gonna have our own show on TV, not TV, on the internet. And you're like, okay, cool, let's try it. So I really appreciate you guys for doing that. So thank you. All right. So I have to get some stuff out of the way, right? Before we get sentimental with Juma, we have to get some stuff out of the way. So, number one, okay, so you have to connect with us. And if you already connect with us, tell people about us. Here's who I want you to tell. I want you to tell the business owner who's looking to scale their business, because digital is the way that they can do that. And we really help you think that through during the show. And working with us is really an easy place to start. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to share this with a CMO, a director of marketing who knows that they have to outsource digital, because you know what? At this point, they can't handle it. They need to outsource it because they have a lot of other things going on and they want to get to the heart of the metrics. We want them to watch the show. Share that with someone like that. We want you to share the show with a CFO, because CFOs really, they're the ones that are signing on the dotted line. They're signing that check, they're signing everything, right? Say they're preparing the budgets. They need to understand how digital works and how you can see an ROI on digital. So we want you to share the show with them. So number one, check us out on YouTube. We are working to grow our YouTube following. As of last week, we were at like 233 people. We want to get to 1,000 by the year. So share, subscribe on YouTube. If YouTube is not your jam, that's all right. Check us out on LinkedIn at Your Business in Digital. And if you like podcasts, we are there as well. We are everywhere that podcasts are found. I love saying that now. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Amazon, and we're on Google. So definitely check us out in those places. All right. The next thing I want you to do, which this is for you, not for us. We want you to take the quiz. If you take our quiz, what you get to do is you get to test the effectiveness of your online presence. We understand that you're putting a lot of time and effort into digital, right? In the last few years, it's been all about the digital transformation. But are you making gains? Are you seeing the ROI? Are you doing the things that really help you get to that money in the bank? Are you looking at the right metrics? Do you have a strong online presence, a weak online presence, or a medium online presence? This quiz helps you get to that place, and it gives you a little bit of a foundation of where you need to start working from and where you need to work towards. So I like to say it 3 times. Take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. All right. So we got the stuff out of the way, right? It kind of came together, the calls to actions. In this season, we really focus a lot on call to action. So I've been fine tuning my talk track. It seems
Well
longer
done.
than it was before.
Well done, well done.
Thank you. I will give myself a round. No, I will give myself a boom. I love the booms. All right. So before we jump into, oh, this is not the recap of the last show. Before we jump in, we are moving on to our hot topics with our hot topics queen. Gotta admit, right? Andrea has been the hot topics queen. She and Michele have brought. Wait, no, Michael's been done, but Andrea's brought some stuff to the table that it's been fun too. So I'm gonna call you the hot topics queen. You guys have all done a great job, but you've thrown me off a few times where I've been like, huh? Oh my god. So Andrea, I'm gonna kick it over to you to introduce our hot topics today. What are we talking about?
Wow. Well, no pressure, no pressure after that introduction, right? So I must say though, I was really trying to figure out what I should talk about in our final week, right? What should be the final thing that we should close with? And I decided to pull the thread this on the conversation that we started in the previous hot topic, where I spoke about what happened with the formal end of the pandemic. And one of the points that we spoke about was how consumers have changed. We need to look at how their behavior, if their behavior has changed post pandemic, what does that mean for you? And I'm pulling the thread on that, and I'm diving into how consumer demand is changing in 2023, right? So coming out of pandemic and coming out of all the economic stuff has been happening, and just the world in general, how we have how things have changed. The way the customer is interacting with you, the way consumers are interacting with businesses has changed. And it's really driving towards more digital experiences and contactless contactless interactions. So there are about six, I think there are about 6 points here that I found that's describing how the behavior has changed, and we're going to touch on each one of them a little bit. So the first trend that is coming out in 2023 is customers in 2023 are seeking more personalized experiences from their businesses, right? According to a study by Accenture, 91% of consumers are more likely to shop with brands that provide personalized offers and recommendations. And I know we touched on this show before. I think Michael touched on it previously. That personalizing your interaction with your consumer, right? And furthermore, they're actually willing, what the study is saying is that 83% of consumers are willing to share their data so that they can get a personalized experience. So this is where customers are looking for how you interact with them, how are you creating offers that speak to them. We speak about when you're using the data that they supply based on what they buy before. Are you really connecting with them to say, well, okay, here's how I can help you based on what you purchased before? And I know the big retailer that starts with an A, does that really well. That's where you see how they say, well, based on what you liked before, based on what you purchased before, this is what we think you may like. So, but what this study is saying is that they're looking for more of this. Consumers want you to speak more on their level, on a direct level, as opposed to mass produce. The next point is sustainability. Sustainability is an increasingly important consideration for customers in 2023. They're looking to see how, as a business, how are you helping the environment? How are you helping the environment? How are you helping to be more sustainable in the way that you operate? So, of course, this is very much applicable to the big guys that do a lot of industrial business. But it doesn't mean that as a small business that you're exempt from it. They're looking at all levels. Customers want to see how you, as a business owner, how are you treating with the need to be sustainable. So at the small business level, it could mean as simple as, if you're a virtual business, the fact that you're not printing, you've digitized everything, so you don't you're reducing your carbon footprint by not maybe printing paper. You're reducing the waste. And if you're making a product, if you make candles or if you make hair products, are you using all natural? How are you reducing your waste? Are you using eco-friendly packaging materials? They're looking for that level of sustainability. Then you're looking for contactless experiences. So, of course, this one is directly coming out from the COVID-19 pandemic, where of course, we had to social distance and we could not interact with each other. They're really looking to maintain that contactless experience. They're increasingly seeking out the options, contactless payment options. They're looking for virtual consultations, and they're looking for remote customer service, right? So a survey by McKinsey found that 75% of consumers expect to maintain their levels of digital engagement even after the pandemic. And this speaks directly to what we touched on in the previous when I spoke on the pandemic, where you have to understand what your consumer is looking like. This survey is saying that most of them want to, but as a business owner, you have to understand what your customer base is looking for depending on what you sell. So you may need to look to see how experience for them, right? Does that mean looking at a digital solution? What does it mean for you? How are you going to leverage technology in order to do that? Trust and transparency is the other behavior that we're seeing coming out in 2023. It's becoming increasingly important for customers to trust the brand and for the brand to be transparent back with them, right? So they want businesses to be transparent about how they operate, about their values, right? And it also goes to how they're treating the data. It goes back to the first one that we just spoke about. They're willing to give you the data for a personalized experience, but then they want to trust that the way that you're collecting and using their data, they want you to be transparent with how you're using their data and provide clear explanations of how you're using the data, as well as your things like your pricing policies and your refund policies. So consumers are looking for businesses to be more trustworthy, and they're looking for them to be more transparent. They're also looking for you to be more convenient. They're seeking convenience as they interact with you. So coming out of the pandemic where all the different methods of communication came about, they're looking more for convenience. And another survey by Salesforce found that 69% of consumers say that convenience was actually more important than brand loyalty. So this is a tricky one here. So they're actually saying they would rather change who they're operating with or who they're buying from for a more convenient option. And that is a very important point that as a business owner, you need to understand, because it means it's not just about having the good product. You have to be able to meet the customer where they want to be met in terms of convenience. So you may need to focus on delivering more convenient experience to the customer. And again, it may involve looking at technologies, looking at mobile apps, and looking at online marketplaces that make it easier for them to take that journey from when they first become aware of you to when they actually become their customer. And the final one is social responsibility. This is a bit tied to the sustainability one as well. They're looking for the business to give back, right? They're looking for businesses that are taking a bit of a social responsibility and advocate for various issues. And especially if it's an issue that is close to their heart. So, for example, if as a customer you are animal lover and you want to support a business that probably gives back to maybe organizations that help homeless animals, etc. But they're looking for businesses that have a cause and standing behind some sort of um, being an advocate for some sort of issue, right? So they're looking to see what are you doing. So what does this mean now for our small businesses that we speak to? So you need to stay ahead of these trends. Now, it's about 6 trends that we spoke about here, and I'm not saying that every single one has to be incorporated into your business right now, but it's saying that consumers are looking for a bit more, and you need to be able to know what these trends are so that you could stay ahead and see how you can implement. These trends can actually help build better relationships with customers. If you notice, these trends were more along a qualitative perspective. It really didn't have anything to do with numbers per se, but it's a qualitative thing that is just going to tip you over just a little bit in the mind of the consumer and could eventually fall through into your bottom line, into your profitability, especially that point where we said that consumers are looking for more convenience rather than brand loyalty. That means that the customer will change their mind based on just that one factor. So understanding these things can help you build better relationship with your customers. And of course, it wouldn't be a digital show if I didn't say, look at technology. Each one of these things can be assisted by technology, as simple as your email marketing tools, where you use your personalizing when you set it up to say hi and you put in their first name, or contactless solutions in terms of payments using e-commerce in your business so that they can pay you. All these little things, all of them can be assisted by technology. So take a look at where you can implement technology, of course, in a scalable way and within your budgetary restraints. But do not turn a blind eye to how the consumer behavior is changing, because if you don't look at it and don't pay attention to it, it will eventually reflect in your bottom line, because it could mean falling revenue.
I feel like that was so good and I love it, right? And so you're the numbers lady who comes with no numbers today. Who
No
are you?
numbers,
What are
no
they?
numbers, but it
Numbers.
relates to numbers.
It relates to numbers, right? And I think, one of the shows we talked about this, we talked about the fact that so many people want to go back and there are behaviors, you look at it, okay, I don't have to go to the grocery store. It can still be delivered to me. That's one thing I can kind of check off my list, right? So there are the conveniences that have definitely stayed and aren't going anywhere. QR codes, for instance, you know what I mean? All the things that make it convenient, easy, simple, really integrating technology. And a lot of what you talked about is being customer first, right? Michelle, I think, was the one that talked about the personalization piece the other day. And all of it comes back to being customer centric, customer first. So that customer journey is always what it comes back to, especially for digital. So I loved this hot topic. This was really great. And it was the culmination of everything in a qualitative
Grand finale.
grand finale. Yeah, oh, wait, I have applause and cheering. I don't have to make noise myself. Go ahead, Michael. Michelle.
I was just going to say we've got to dive into that personalization one, right? Personalization is not new. We are probably all familiar with it in email. You know, it says hi, first name, etc. But when we talk personalization and tying that to the customer journey now, we are talking knowing your customer, knowing what they bought before, knowing what they're looking for, when do they renew, things that as you get more information about them, you show that you do know them. So it's not just getting that snippet and dropping that tag into your email. It's really showing that everybody wants to be seen and heard, right? Nobody likes the experience of, I spoke to somebody yesterday and I already told them this, right? That's where you click and go elsewhere. So great points, Andrea. Love this topic. Definitely love personalization for sure.
I think, what was so interesting about this, and I love just what you just said, Tamara, that here comes our money lady, ain't talking about money. But she put money on the table. And what she led with is something that we spoke about I think very early in the season, that it's not about you. It's about your client. And when you lead with that and you're understanding that you need to anticipate their need, answer the unasked question. And the third piece that I think Andrew said in pretty much every point of this is that you're always in school, you're always learning, you're always adapting and moving along the way. You can't sit in a sedentary place, because when you do, everything's going to leave you behind, up to and including technology. You have to stop avoiding that. You have to infuse it into your world, and AI is doing it for you. And we spoke about this, 2 or 3 topics ago, where it is now infusing and adding the additional things that they know clients are asking for. So we have to adapt to that. We have to make sure it's about them. And in the long run, when we do all of that, we make it about our business, and we're going to move that sale forward in a sustainable, way that we can all manage for longevity. I say that almost every one of these shows. And that also shows your ability to provide your lanyard, understand your lanyard, which is something extra when you do that homework and make it about your client. So I just like this. She brought us to school today and made sure everybody knew what's happening. Yeah.
You're still muted.
Oh man, Michelle, I'm going to shout you out for throwing in Lanyap at any opportunity you get. I love how you promote the brand. You're just like, it's about your Lanyap. It's about your Lanyap. Something extra. You say it, you promote the brand, and then you explain it right after. So I love that. And that is one of the things that is great about this show, is really, again, how the talk track has really, everyone, you just kind of see them in their talk track, and it's like, oh, it's so good, so good. But Andrea, amazing hot topic.
Amazing.
This is our final hot topics for this season. I'm getting emotional.
Actually, I will squeeze in one more before we go in. It just dropped today.
YouTube
YouTube has dropped, lowered its entry requirements for monetization. So I thought on our last day, it would be good to know that, right? So just for everybody's knowledge, YouTube, starting today, has dropped the threshold to 500 subscribers in the last 3 public uploads in the last 90 days, and 3,000 watch hours in the past year. So just so we know.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That is great news.
That's big for us.
It's like we're already there.
Great. So reel it back. We've been talking about growing our YouTube channel. And again, we've been picking up, at least with SEO, all the things we're doing, we're picking up subscribers on a weekly basis. So we're seeing the move. It's a slow move, but it's moving. So what you're saying is that YouTube has said our threshold for monetization is now lowered from 1,000 to 500.
500. 3 public uploads in the last 90 days, and either 3,000 watch hours in the past year or 3 million shorts views in the last 90 days. So
Oh,
they are, reason being is they are trying to lure more content creators from TikTok.
no, look at
Imagine that, the competitive space.
all right, okay, y'all. Okay. No
We
more.
got this.
I gave all the booms. I was excited about that. That's really good news. All the content creators and look at that. We are dropping it here first at Your Business in Digital because this is what we do. All right. So without further ado, we are moving on to our last Go Beyond the Like segment before the season finale or of the season finale, the last one. So go beyond the likes. This has been a segment that has been so great. Firstly, this is something that we have trademarked, this term, go beyond the likes. And it's been such an important part of this show this season to really see all the conversations that we've had with guests have been really how they're going way beyond the likes, all the things they've been doing to really take their business forward, leveraging digital. So I love that this is so relevant. And this is where we started off. When I started Monovan Digital, this was the name of the first workshop I ever did, Go Beyond the Likes. So full circle, here we are. It's a complete segment, and we really get to have a great conversation about it. This is, I'm really proud of us, Michael. All right. So without further ado, who are we bringing to the stage today? We are bringing to the stage today Mr. Juma Bannister, and we are talking about building small business success through social media. I am going to bring Juma to the stage. All right, let's do it. Good morning, Juma. How are you this morning? Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here with everyone this morning. Really, really happy. And I love your song effects, Tama. You've been on it. You've been on it with those song effects.
I appreciate it. I trip a little bit. We got them halfway through the season. And so sometimes I am like, when I get excited, but they are fun, right?
Yes.
Very from Clubhouse, and we just kind of adapted. So Juma, please introduce yourself and really, tell the people who you are and what you do, please.
So I am Juma Bannister. I am the co-founder and creative director of Relate Studios, a strategic marketing and production company based in Trinidad and Tobago. And I help people create content, useful content for their to build their business. And actually, right now we're in the middle of a transition where we're redefining some of the things that we do and say. So I heard you mention talk tracks earlier on. My talk track is in transition, which is an interesting thing. But let's just say for today, I can help you create the content you need in order to build a long-term relationship with the people who are important to you, particularly your customers and clients. Yeah.
We love when people are, tweaking their talk track and I see you're back on social media, so I know that you're going to refine that talk track. Yeah. So you're going to refine that talk track. So everyone here is nerding out about the fact that you're here. So again, I have to give you a shout out. Did you hear the track at the beginning of the intro? Do you recognize it?
Yeah, I did. I remember we had that whole we had that conversation in that meeting, and you were searching for stuff, and I'm like, oh, I have this here. This is something. I've tons of things that are just sitting there. so that was good. I'm happy that you're finding value in the anything that was created.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the coolest thing, right? That we have original music from you. So I am, we are honored that you gave that to us. When we are billionaires, we will make sure that, you get a cut.
Yeah, just invite me to the pool party. It's okay.
No worries. Yeah. All right. So Juma, let's jump in and start having this conversation. So really talk a little bit about what you've seen success-wise, or what you've, talk about your successes and some of the hiccups along the way as you've been growing your business, leveraging digital. I'm sure we all want to know.
Well, I mean, I think one of the main things for us, when we started the business back in the day, it was a different type of business. We were into mainly photography. We were not always in the area of creating video for corporate clients and content creation. But at that time, because I came from a background of actually building websites, and I wasn't aware of it at the time. That was back in 2006. That was a while ago. What I did is created the thing that I knew how to create, which was websites, and did research on that, and found out that if you create websites, you can have a blog, and at that point, WordPress was becoming popular. So I actually had two websites at the time I had, and I didn't know you could have them in the same place. I had a website which was focused on the products I was selling, which was like the wedding services. And then I had a blog which I would share all of this content from the weddings. And unbeknownst to me, beknown or beknownst, one of those, uh, doing that, being able to put out content consistently really spoke to the Google algorithm and shot us to the top of the search for very specific terms. And this was me stumbling through the whole discovering what does digital look like and what does interacting on the internet look like, and figuring it out in real time without any help from anyone but the internet. And so for years that persisted in terms of, because there was a certain time in history where content wise blogs were number one. You put out 3, 4, 5 blogs a week and that would get you ranked. And that is what we were doing, putting up blogs, and particularly dwell time on the images. People would go to the galleries and they would scroll through. And so from that foundation, being able to see the impact of having a digital presence and using those things in the form of blogs, we began to diversify into other things, other parts of content. And now we're at a point where our heavy focus is on video. So we could see how being able to be found, and we would book clients over and over again just by having this active and very, very engaging blog. And of course, the images were great, but the fact that we were consistently putting out the content told all of these different search engines, and SERPs were going crazy, and basically it gave us a leg up over all our competition. So anytime you search specific terms for weddings in the Caribbean and all those different things, we would always pop up first. So from those days, those foundational days, to now where we are putting out content over multiple channels with a singular theme and with a singular focus, it's really been a serious success journey for us with using digital to build our business.
That is us, Juma. You said a mouthful right there. I mean, you hit a number of topics that we've spoken about through the entire season, and the evolution of you and your business is amazing. And as you were saying this, there were a couple of things from a sales perspective that I wanted to lean into a bit, because we often speak in here about knowing who your audience is and inviting them into your space and into your house, and then walking them through the journey. But throughout this time, you had to, figure out what your niche was, figure out the technology, evolve into different spaces, get those blogs out, do all of these things. As you've evolved, and you said you started with wedding photography and eventually evolved more into video. How did you determine and decide over the course of time how you were going to pivot and change your talk track, change the words that you're using, change the terms that you were utilizing, so that you could fluidly move to that next space, not lose your old clients, but invite the right people in to be sustainable and show your lanyard? How did you accomplish that comfortably without ruining your business?
It was very uncomfortable. It was not comfortable at all. What it took is to transition. It took and this may sound funny, and I don't know if people know this, to transition from let's just say not doing weddings or not focusing on weddings, and weddings moving from, let's just say, 90% of our revenue to now video content being 90% of our revenue. It took roughly like 7 years for that to happen. And so what we had to do is we had to have two different streams happening at the same time. We had to have a digital life and a stream that supported our current revenue. And we had to transition slowly by putting out the work that we want people to see on another side. And so I was ready in 2015 when we figured out we need to move away from weddings, to just drop the whole thing cold turkey and just move on. And at the time we were having discussions with somebody who was helping us, or one of our business mentors. And he was like, no, you can't just drop the thing cold turkey. You need to transition. And he was describing a process. And if you know me, I am somebody who I'm very practical. I like to put my hands in things and see how they work. And so being able to create the language around where you're going to while having the language and the content and the collateral with where you are. And you kind of have to speak to those two crowds at the same time, increasing your volume on one end for where you're going and decreasing the volume on the other end for where you're coming from. And over time, the content on the wedding side became less and less. New platforms were introduced, new ways to introduce, because at the time, like Facebook was crazy, and Facebook, you could get great reach and you would interact with customers. And then Facebook introduced the whole pay to play system and it cut that back. So we said, okay, where are we going now? Is it IG? Is it this? Is it that? And we began to kind of transition over a long period of time. And right now we don't have a wedding website. Like, it's down, and I'm okay with that. We haven't not had a wedding website for a decade plus. And if the wedding website were to go down, like just say 7 years ago, I would be in panic. It has to be back up. Oh my God, what's happening? But now we're at a place where, oh, it's down, it's okay. Facebook page is not working, is okay. Because we have transitioned already. In terms of the talk track, over the time, that is what happened. It changed from this stream talking about it this way into the other stream talking about it this way over a number of years. And it was not, it's never like, you have to discover how to do that. It's not never like a smooth it's never a completely smooth process, so
the pivot does not happen immediately. I think that's really important for our community that's listening to embrace that, because we do know that there is modification that happens in the business over time, but the immediate gratification is not going to be there. There's tiny little things that will show you the way and make sure that you understand and won't blow your business up. But I think understanding that has to be really well planned out, and that you can still show who you are, maintain your voice, but then also say and invite the right people into your world and help them self-qualify by the change in talk track and the change in search that you're putting out there. And that's really important for our community here, as they're all saying, everybody's my client and I do everything. And we're saying, no, you don't actually. But get comfortable understanding that you don't, and get, like you said, uncomfortable moving into that new space that allows you to be there for the long haul. So thank you. I appreciate that. I've been waiting for you to come to the show again. It is, I'm geeking out on you, so it's okay. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah. And I would just add that even when we were doing just like weddings and stuff, we were very aware that specific audiences need a specific type of content. And so we began to get so granular. And I always told Aina this. I said, listen, we can't have this with this mixed in with this. It's going to confuse what we're saying. So we got to the point where, we were shooting weddings, but then we said we're getting so much business on the island of Tobago, which is our sister island, because many of the destination weddings happen there. So that's the type of client we want. People who are flying in and having destination weddings, that we created a website specifically for Tobago. And at a certain time, we were getting more business in Tobago than the photographers who were there, because we had created this specific website and we had this specific thing. So when people would search, they would find our website, and then they would say, oh, these guys know what they're doing. And this was just like we delineated the content. We separated out the content that was relevant to that particular segment and put it in one place and made it discoverable. And so people were able to discover our general wedding stuff, and then they came to us specifically for this. I mean, I used to live in Tobago. We used to be across there all the time because we're getting so much business from that stream. And but that's not the case now. I generally am in Trinidad now because that's a thing that stopped. So yeah.
That is so fascinating. Just to hear you say that you were doing this amount of business in Tobago, it was so successful, and you're no longer doing it. And I think it's a testament to your business journey and the decisions that you've taken and how you've described it. I love that. I think that's very, I don't know, I think it's very brave to be able to look your business future in the eye and say, you know what, this is the direction I want to go. So my question I think I want to ask is, and I hope I get to craft it the right way because I've been trying to figure out how to craft this question.
Hmm.
I want to talk some money. I want to talk
Yeah,
some
sure.
dollars, right?
Something I love talking about.
Yeah. Let's
not,
talk.
not really, not really, but go ahead.
Let's talk about, in your own words, and how describe, because we're talking about building success through social media.
Yeah.
How has the content, creating the content on social media and doing all that, describe how that actually allows you to charge higher prices. How does that actually come through now in terms of, well, I could move from charging $500 an hour to 2,000, 1,000, as the case may
Mm,
be. Where do you see that linkage
mm,
between all this work that you're doing on social media? Because I think business owners need to hear it
mm,
described, and they need to see it from a business owner, because we're on this show, we're talking about putting yourselves out there through digital
mm,
marketing. But I'm not sure if they've seen the connection that if you do this, you should be able to, you know, up your prices and see that margin grow higher and
mm.
higher.
Yeah. So what I would say is that when people come to you, they're already convinced of who you are and what you can do. And so there's no battle to try and prove again
Negotiate.
about your skill. And so they come to you understanding that you already have this particular competency, this particular level. And so it eliminates that whole idea of having to, okay, can I have a discount on this? Can I have it eliminates that process. It cuts that process all the way down. Um, of course, you still have to do the regular thing, which is, how can I help you? What do you want? What are the specifics of your needs? And you have to figure those things out. But they come with you basically with open mind about what they, what, whatever you tell them, because you're expert already in their mind. And whatever they have to pay, they're gonna most likely pay it. And so it takes that whole part of that battle away. So so your content is fighting that battle for you before you even meet the clients.
Oh,
It's
I
fighting
love
that
that.
battle for you. It's teaching them how to perceive you as an authority, as an expert, and it's kind of cleaning up all of those different things that may become an issue when you start to talk behind closed doors. Because and for us, like we've had being, and let me talk specifically for LinkedIn now, because I know people may want to know about LinkedIn. We've gotten several clients from LinkedIn. I would say we had two really major wins over the last year or so. One was a startup which we are doing business with, which is going pretty well, and we're in discussions with them after having done a certain amount of business with them. And the other one, interestingly, was directly from me creating content on LinkedIn. So one of our a very popular creator on LinkedIn, really really popular. Um, he was approached to create a content by a business here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the interesting thing is that I did not even know this business existed, but it's a massive business. It's a communications business. It's massive. And sometimes we don't understand the type of businesses that exist. We think the market is this size, but if we do research, you realize, wait, that there's a big potential in this market. Anyway, they came to him, and I'm probably going to do a video about this. They came to him and said, we want to create content. He says, well, like, I don't really create content for other people. I can train you how, but I can't do it. He said, well, I know this guy, which was happened to be me, who can help you with that. So we all met together. He made the introduction, and then he left the chat. And then we were able to build over the last year, we were able to build this relationship with this company. And now we've created big pieces of like a 15-minute documentary on the history of the company, like a brand piece. And now we're going to go into create some short form content with them. And we basically have become their content provider. We crafted a content strategy, and we did all those different things. And that is from him knowing me from LinkedIn and making an introduction to a CEO of a company who wanted something that he knows that my company could have done. And so we now in this relationship, which seems to be a long-term relationship, which I like, with this company to create for them over a period of time and guide them into content success over a period of time. So that for me is a big win.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely huge.
Oh, yeah, I just had to put that in. It made money, Andrea.
Well, it
Love
was
it.
assumed. It
Love
was
it.
assumed, right? It was assumed. Juma, good morning again. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here on the season finale. So my
Morning.
question is more related to your customers, especially given that last example.
Mm-hmm.
What have you? What is your take in the region? And I'm kind of tying this back to a post I saw from Lyndon. But what have you seen in the region as far as the approach to content creation? Do you find you are more you're in a position more of guiding what the content should be, or do you find businesses are getting a little more savvy as to what constitutes relevant content?
Yeah, so there's a big divide on that. There's like a split. There's some people who are embracing what digital is and how they create content, and they're getting a sense of it. And I suspect that that's because some of the new marketers in these businesses are themselves growing and they're doing research, because these ideas are going to come from people. And there's some businesses who have held on to a lot of traditional stuff. They are still in the age of terrestrial TV, of print, and different things, and they're very digital savvy. Um, so what I've seen, and I'm kind of losing track of the actual question, but what I've seen is that in the region, in the Caribbean in particular, there is like a divide. There are some people who are really doing well and who are putting on the relevant content, and there's some people who need help. They are not, they haven't figured out how to use the thing properly yet, so they kind of spraying and praying. And so for us, when we see people kind of sporadic or they're doing just stuff, then we're like, okay, this is an opportunity here to speak to this person about how they're approaching this thing. And I would say that some parts of us are very mature. So people have a strategy. They have an email strategy along with the social media strategy, which is under their overall marketing strategy, which and that which is ties in with their digital efforts. And there are some people that just like, well, have an intern make some videos, which it doesn't make sense in the long term. It's just like doing stuff. You're just spinning wheels in the mud type of thing. So there's a big divide as far as I see. But it's getting better, right? With the help of companies like yours, and with people who could tell people, well, this is what you do when you get onto the interwebs. Just do anything you want to do. You must have a plan. You must know your customer journey, and you must talk about these relevant things. And with companies like mine who could talk about the relevant way to make content, the content strategy, and the long-term building these connections with your clients and customers. So
Oh, Juma. I'm gonna give you all right. So what I love that you're talking about, some of the pieces that I kind of hear in there is number one, patience. It took you 7 years to transition the business. So with as you say, the interwebs, they were always looking for that instant gratification. But when you decide that you're moving down another path or you're pivoting, it's going to take time, and balancing those two. It's like driving a stick car, right? So I think that's an important piece. And then creating content takes a lot of work. But talk a little bit about getting in front of the target audience, right?
yeah.
Because I think that's what's important here. We can create the relevant content. We can do all the things we need to do, pivot, all the things, but how do you get in front of that relevant audience so that they can find you? And how much of that are you focused on while you're building the content?
Yeah, that's like major. That is major. And just a note, you could see it inside of the switch we made, or switch I made when I came onto LinkedIn. So I knew that one particular crowd for this particular business existed on these channels. And in order for me to build, and let's just be broad, I wouldn't be specific, in order for me to build more business and more authority inside of a corporate space, or inside of to speak with leaders who own businesses and who can make decisions, I had to be on this platform. So we did not try to do that primarily on, let's just say, like what we want, Facebook. We came across the LinkedIn. So the first thing that's very important is that obviously you have to know who your your ideal client profile is, your ICP. And if you're really deep into it, you start to build personas and stuff like that. Not everybody has to go ultra deep, depending on the size of your company and who you're serving. So you know that. And then you have to decide on, based on that, what are the distribution channels that you want to focus on? Because distribution is critical. Like, where are you going to put these things? Where are you going to place this? And what type of, and then, sorry, I'm kind of mixing up myself here, but the distribution channels are important. But then when you start to create the content, it has to be based upon what are the needs of the people who you want to speak to. What are the problems that you're trying to solve for them? And I have a kind of a framework for that. It's like 5 things you need to know before creating content. Like, know who you are, know who you're talking to, know how your content can help them and the people like you want to build long-term relationships with. Know the what are your business goals, and there's one last one that I can't remember. I keep on forgetting it, but there are like 5 things that I lay out before people and say, these are things you need to take into consideration before you even start to write a script or record a video. If you do these 5 things first, but that second one, know who you're talking to, is like massive. It's like massive. What are the needs of the customer? What are the type of problems they're encountering? What stage of life that they're in? Different things of that sort. And obviously, to some degree, you could get real deep with that. And if you want to get deep, you might not be able to do it yourself. You hire Monovan Digital, and they'll sort you out. And so, it's something that people need to know. And the less they know, the more likely the content is not going to behave and give the results that they want it to.
Yeah. Oh, Juma, you have all the answers. So, Juma, did you ever think you would have a show growing up? Did you ever think you would have your own show? Because it comes back to some of that, right? Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, we have a whole show. Isn't it a little bit wild that it's almost like living out this crazy fantasy while driving business?
I think it's an amazing thing. I think the democratization of content has allowed many of us to do things that we never thought we would do. As opposed to having paying $500,000 for a 30-second ad on TV, we could just decide we're going to make some stuff on the interwebs and the internet and speak to the people who we want to speak to and go direct. So we are undercutting this mass marketing stuff. We go into some direct marketing and speaking to the people who we need to speak to. And I think that's a beautiful thing, personally.
It's an awesome thing. And I love that you keep coming back to that, know who you're speaking to. Yeah. There have been times during this season where, we've been creating captions and so on, or creating content. And Tamara and I have had this discussion, and sometimes we struggle. That's everybody. But then we come back to the question, who are we talking to? And that clears everything right up, right? So being absolutely clear, I think that's one to drive home for sure.
That's true. That's true. I mean, depending on your personal brand, you can have some fun with it, but you have to kind of snap back. Sometimes I go off the rails with my personal brand and I do things that I just like to do, but that's
when you're making it big, right? You're just doing things that you like to do. You heard it from Juma right here on YBID. He's making it. Sometimes he just does things he likes to do.
Humble brag there. Just do my thing, that money thing. It's all right.
What I'm saying is that we all have to have fun sometimes. You can't just be. Although I guess creating content can be fun in general, but we all have to be like, I'm just gonna talk about my anniversary today, or talk about whatever today. Just in between, you do some stuff that you like to do, and let me tell you, that in itself, like, I am very much like, I have tons of content sitting down that I just decided never to share, like pieces and pieces of it's just sitting there. It's like, I don't think I should share this. I made it, finished it, and then I'm like, nah, I'm never putting this out. It's never going to see the light of day. Which is my learning process. That's how I learn. I learn by doing stuff. And so sometimes you want to create something and you have an idea for it, and the only way you know whether or not it's going to be the thing is by actually doing it. And you do it, and then you realize this is great, And sometimes you do it and you realize, nah, this doesn't fit at all. But it's good to try new ideas, and that is some of the fun that you will have when you're creating.
And definitely the word there is that's the humanization of it, right?
Yeah.
That's where you put forward little bits. Of course, as we're saying, it's not to go crazy and take it totally off brand. But we have seen it within Monovan as well. Tamara has seen it when she does certain posts, that adds that human touch to all of your content. Lets people know that this is not a machine just pumping out, which is going to be a bigger question as we go forward with AI, of course. But it absolutely adds that human element to say, hey, this is a business run by real people who are doing real things.
True. Facts. Agreed. Agreed.
I have a question, but then as Michael just said the magic word AI, I think I want to pivot a little bit and ask Juma, what are your takes on AI and content creation? Has it impacted you? But yeah, just what are your thoughts?
I think AI is a tool, and it's a really great tool. But I believe that based on what's been happening, thus far, it's been everybody's trying to use it to produce more content and saying, "Oh, it's so great." I think the danger is because the pool of the way AI processes information right now. We know the most popular platform is ChatGPT, and the free version has content aggregation up to 2021, which is like a couple of years ago. And when you ask it a question, it's going to produce answers based on that aggregation. And I think that while it's a good reference, no one should leave all of their content creation strictly up to AI. They could use it as a basis or a platform, or they could take it and it will write scripts and all those different things. But I think what people have to be very, very careful about is the differentiation part of how you produce content and who you are, and knowing that you cannot be the same as everybody else, because as Tamara always says, the out here is very noisy. The internet is noisy. And if you're not differentiated, it's very, very hard to convince somebody why they should buy from you. And so AI tools are good tools for efficiency. You can have a basis for those things, and they'll get better. I suspect they'll get better. Now, if you could train an AI tool to talk in your voice, that'll be like excellent. But even that, you have to be very careful about. So I like the fact that you can leverage them for certain things and for certain types of grunt work. But when you're talking about the differentiation part of your business, that still has to come from your brain. And you have to make sure that you protect that. Protect your brand, protect those things so that you don't become just vanilla over time with AI. Yeah.
I love that answer.
Great. Juma, man, we've made it to the top of the hour. And this is how we wanted to end our season finale, man. This was brilliant. You are brilliant. We appreciate you and the support you have shown to Monovan Digital, to your business in digital, to all of us here on this platform. I am a fan, so I am actually fangirling. The fact that you're like my friend is also very cool. So like I'm a fan, a friend fan. I don't know. You should watch out for me.
We're gonna thank God we live in two different countries at the moment.
Like if our internet, I might stalk you a little bit. No, but it is. I love what you do, right? I think you are such an example. When I'm looking for good content, when I'm looking for an expert, I turn to your content first. I reach out to you. I jump into WhatsApp and I'm like, hey, what are you thinking? I know how busy you are, and you still make time for me to give me information to help me move my business forward, to help us move this show forward. So we appreciate you on so many levels. And, this is the way we needed to end this show. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm, if I cried and got emotional, I'd get emotional now, but I'm just going to smile.
You're most welcome. I appreciate you all. I mean, you all are doing excellent work out here. It makes me proud to see people who can apply their skills and their talents and share it and collaborate. that collaboration part is a hard part for lots of people. It's difficult. So that collaboration part for me is like key. So I'm very 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 heartened to see what's happening on a show like this, and in general with the team. It's excellent.
Oh, Juma, you're gonna make us cry. We're gonna cheer. You got us feeling warm and fuzzy inside. But Juma, thank you so much for gracing our platform. Thank you again for everything that you do. And we will definitely have you back next season. So, team, Juma was here.
Glad to be here, guys.
All right, Juma, take it easy. Thanks a lot. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, guys, what happens here today?
What a way to end the season.
All right, what a way to end the season. So, for all of you who have been supporting us through this season, we'll be back in September. We're not going anywhere. We're just, we're taking summer vacation. Michael's going away. Michelle's going away. Andrea's going away. I'll be here. I'm always working.
Remember, I live where you vacation. So
Hey.
Ouch.
But to everyone that has supported us this season, we
Did
really
she just throw shade? Hold on. I just want to see. Hold on. The shade. Did she just throw?
She did throw all the shade. To everyone that has supported us this season, this show, we do this show because of you, right? We understand that digital can be daunting. We understand that when you're running a small business, you're doing a lot of things, you're wearing a lot of hats. We understand the stakeholders that need to come to the table. And that's why we produce this show to help you, the business owner looking to scale their business to the next level, because you can do that with digital. If you're a marketing director, if you're a CMO looking to outsource your digital marketing activities, we do this show for you so you understand the trends, what you should be looking for, the questions you should be asking when speaking with an agency. If you are a CFO trying to wrap your mind around digital because you know that it should bring in an ROI, we do this show for you because this is going to help you understand those concepts, understand the KPIs that are relevant to connect back to the money in the bank, right? All this is about your business goals. Digital does not have different goals from the rest of your business. When you pull your business plan together and you pull your goals together, they're the same goals for digital. So that's exactly why we do this show, to clear it up, to make sure that we're thinking about your business in digital and helping you translate a lot of times what you do really well offline online. So I'm going to pass it over to the team. Michele, what are your final thoughts? And everyone kind of give their final thoughts because we're out of here for the summer.
It is to my counterparts here, my brother and my sisters here. I have to say, this is, if I had to do anything in these interwebs, in this space, and move our business forward, be vulnerable and be in the trenches, I can't think of 3 other people that I'd rather be in this place with. We have done quite a lot, and there's a lot for us to be proud of. And for those that are just here for your first time today, sorry. We'll be back soon, but going back and listen to all of the rest of our shows. But this has been a delight to not only watch us evolve and to watch our community evolve, but know that there's just nothing but greatness ahead of us. And when we come back in September, I'm going to throw down. We're going to try our community to actually do something in person together. So let's see if we can get that going. As we evolve, we are challenging ourselves a little bit more and stretching too. So thank you. This has been a delight, and waking up and being with you at 4 a.m. is just such a divine thing. So thank you to each of you 3.
Oh, Michele, how do I follow that? Oh my God. But this show has been so awesome, and I really, really am proud of the work that we do, and the work that we did, and the work that we are going to do. I think that what we do here is so important, and I really want to inspire a lot of small business owners to take these steps. And I think shows like ours is what allows them to think it's possible. Simply, I think a lot of people shy away from being a business, getting into business because they think it's hard and all these different things that come along with it. But when we come on here and we show very simple, very practical discussions of, listen, if you do this today, You do this next month, you do this the month after that. I think it helps to show them, okay, it is possible. And that's what I want this show to continue doing, to continue inspiring business owners to just continue taking the next step day after day, month after month. So see you guys in September.
So I want to say, this has been a great season. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in, all our regular viewers, Dana, Melissa. I know I'm forgetting one name, but thank you all
Allison,
for Allison.
Allison.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Melissa, don't worry. There's still going to be content coming out, right? We're not going to leave you just high and dry. There's going to be content coming out until we start the next season. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for subscribing, both on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Listeners on the podcast. You really made us, showed us that what we do has value to you, and we want to continue delivering that value.
All right. And of course, I have to thank the team, right? I must thank Nia for the work that she does. She wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning and is here with us behind the scenes on the show. So thank you, Nia. Thank you, Chantel, for the work that you do. You see all the beautiful elements. Chantel is working behind the scenes on that Monovan Digital, keeping our brand together. Lanyap, keeping that together as well. And I also want to thank Kayla, who is behind the scenes uploading and optimizing our YouTube videos. We are growing the team, and there's so many people that are supporting us behind the scene that we want to make sure that they get their shout outs too. So again, thank you to everyone that has listened. Your business in digital is really about you, your business, and how do you translate that to digital, and how do you get to that place where you see the money in the bank through digital, right? So it's still important that you do a few things. Connect with us, subscribe. If you are not connected with us on YouTube, go to YouTube, subscribe. You can watch all of the entire season. You can watch the entire season, all the videos. So watch them back to back. It's like you can binge on this. It's really great content. If you don't like YouTube, that's all right. We're on LinkedIn as well. So check us out at Your Business in Digital. Follow the page. Of course, we'll continue to produce content throughout the summer, even though this is the season finale. And if you prefer podcasts, that's great. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google. We are everywhere that podcasts are found now. So yeah. We want you to also remember, take the quiz. You can take the quiz at any point in time. This is our lead generation tool. It gets you into our funnels to start having a conversation with us, listening to more of our content. But it also helps you to understand where your business is, right? Where are you? Are you seeing the return on investment? Do you have a strong online presence, a weak online presence, or a medium online presence? This helps you get to a place where you understand where you are and where you need to grow to. So if you're on a laptop, scan the QR code. If you are not, go to YouTube. The link will be there in the comments. Go to YouTube, take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. It's going to be game changing for you. So guys, again, I don't want to get overly sentimental, but I can make some, some noises. Those are all my emotions. Have an amazing day, guys, and we will see you back in September, but definitely stay tuned for any content that is coming along the way. We will be sharing some clips. We have so many things that we can edit and go back to repurposing some of this great content, the highlights. Have an amazing summer. Take it easy. Bye.